Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to dive into the collective. Thank you for being here today. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the free reading giveaway or the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, welcome. This is a very special reading today. As I was sitting in meditation, I kept hearing the world needs your gifts. Don't leave with them still inside you. So this reading is going to be focused on inspirational messages for you at this time. And this is an extra special reading because the other day as I was rummaging through a drawer looking for an item, I came across this beautiful deck. This is Whispers from a Horse's Heart and Touched by a Horse. I'll leave all the information about this deck. It's handcrafted, I believe, from a local artist, but I had gifted it to my daughter many years ago, and I came across it as I was looking for some items, and I knew immediately that I needed to share some of the messages because it had been sitting there. And I asked my daughter if it was okay that I used her deck, and she said, "Mom, it would be weird if you did not." So there's a very magical energy here within this deck that I cannot wait to share with you. Yeah, right away here you have the card of no turning back. You can see here that this horse is looking to the side, but he knows that he's ready to move on. So some of you here, there's a very important message about moving forward on your divine path, because again, the world needs your unique gifts, and there may have been a situation that you were involved in, or it could have been a relationship or a work environment, or maybe it was a routine pattern that you were ready to break away from. There's no turning back here, because as you have grown, beautiful souls, you've developed and you've deepened on your life's journey, you found yourself way down the trail from where you've started. You may have friends or people in your life asking you to change back or to come back to where you once were. Right? That can be family members. That can be even children, your coworkers. People miss that version of you when you change, because that's why you are connected, because there's some sort of bonding happening on an energetic level and a physical level. But when we change, sometimes those things fall away. They're not resonant to our energy any longer. This happened to me years ago when I decided to stop drinking. I ended up, kind of acclimating towards new hobbies, different hobbies than some of the friends that did carry on with more of the drinking festivities. And you move into a new energy, and sometimes those people do not align with you any longer. So when you have the no turning back card, this is saying here, the way you were back then was comfortable for them. They did not need to grow or change to keep you on your, interact with you, or to keep you in that same energy. However, you have indeed grown and are moving on to new ground, ready to soar to new heights, looking back to reflective, energy. You're looking back, right? And when you do look back, it's reflective for you, but there's no turning back. So some of you, because this horse is face a little bit back, if you are to look back, just do it to reflect, right? Don't do it because you're making a full circle and going back to where you just came from, right? That would be silly. Think of getting lost on, on a route, and you keep going in circles and keep going in circles, right? Eventually you're going to realize, wow, I was just on this same path, and in order to get to my destination, I need to go in a different direction. So some yearning or nostalgia, it certainly can be expected at this time, but trust that the new higher ground upon which you are standing will be rewarded in itself. So keep moving forward, because there is no turning back. And that is your message from this beautiful horse's heart here. Now, you also have this card came up, and this is interesting because right away, I want you to look at this imagery and take a look at what this means for you. When you look at this horse, when you look at the colors, I want you just to take a deep breath in from that solar plexus chakra, the belly area. And as you release, I want you to really sink into that third eye center. What does this energy bring about for you? Now, this message is all about clearing. Even though it looks like a buck and bronco, it looks like things could be taking a turn. It may look like things are quick in this energy here. There may even be at times where it feels like you're not fully grounded because you can see that all four legs are off the ground here. But this is the energy of breaking out of all negativity or restraints, right? So again, buck and bronco, he's not meant to be tamed. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with that first message that I was getting from Spirit is the world needs your gift. So if you feel like you're being tempered, or if you feel like you are being restricted in any way, shape, or form, it may be the situation that you are currently in. You feel like you've been held back recently, but you've gathered strength and energy, even if you don't realize it. Right? This is about you succeeding and overcoming adversity. You'll no longer have to tolerate being held back because glorious wisdom is now yours. So burst out. Your vibration is at a new peak, calling you to be free and full of life. Speak up and go against the flow, right? And sometimes we need to go against the grain, go against the flow in order to bring more balance into our lives. And some of you may be saying, well, Melissa, how does that make sense? Don't we want to go with the flow? But sometimes it feels like going with the flow at times is staying within the comfort zone, and we need to break out from that. Otherwise, sometimes the universe can bring in that tower moment. It can bring in a wheel of fortune, but sometimes it's up to us to create that tower moment, create that wheel of fortune for change. And I feel like you're ready for it here. That's why your first card out is no turning back. This is about you bursting out your vibration. Again, it's at an all-time high, and you will create all that you want for the highest good. Ask questions as you burst forth, vowing to use what you have learned for the betterment of all. Use your newfound force and energy to direct change in the most benefit direction. You're going to land on your feet, right? If things feel a little bit chaotic here for you, you will land on your feet. There's a lot of red and there's a lot of blue, and that red is about stability. So right now you may feel like you're not quite sure. You want to express yourself. You want to be seen, valued, heard. You want to speak up for what you believe is right. You want to listen to yourself here. But there may be this time in your life where it's important to just burst with that energy here. And again, you're going to land on your feet and find a new sense of stability. Now you also have this beautiful horse that looks like, right, kind of looks like a cow there. It's a very powerful, beautiful energy, and I'm getting right away that sometimes, right, there's a feeling of sometimes things are, black and white. Sometimes we try to look for the in-between. We try to find that balance. Sometimes not everything is black and white. It's not as simple. Someone on the outside could be say, hey, beautiful soul, why don't you go that route? It's just easy. All you have to do is make up your mind. But sometimes it's not that simple. We have to, not have to, but sometimes emotions get muddied up. Sometimes the mind talks us out of things. Sometimes we waver and go back and forth here. So when you have this mystical energy, I'm going to flip it up right here because that way I can read it better for you. But this says here, the mystical energy is all about the vastness of your purpose, and the energies of the universe are before you at this time. What was once mundane and straightforward now seems to be full of mystery. Your understanding of the mystical energies is deepening. And I like that this is showing up as well, because some of you, this has to do with shutting that light on the darker aspects. And we've just recently undergone eclipse season, even though these are timeless readings here. We've undergone a deep time of personal transformation. And as we navigate, forward, sometimes those emotions can be quite intense. Sometimes the energies are quite intense here. So I definitely feel like you're understanding a lot more about what's happening here. You feel expansive. There is an expansion of of your mind, of that consciousness, at one with the vibration of your energy and all of creation. So cleanse all your thoughts and convert all your energy to the greater good at this time. The profound and the understood are becoming more familiar and clear. Remain in each present moment, staying in contact with your own self. You are being challenged to recognize yourself as the master creator of your moments to come. Take responsibility for all that you put out energetically as you move through your world. The mystical truth is to believe and hold that others and your own self are already whole, right? We already are whole, but when we enter this, this realm, we attach ego to ourselves, which creates that illusion of separation. We have to come back to ourselves, and this is a really wonderful time to do so, right? If it's been lacking, if you felt very separated, disconnected, this is a wonderful time to get back into that energy. It says here, the mystical truth is to believe and hold that others and your own self are already whole, perfect, and complete. Hold that everything is unfolding before you with divine inspiration, in divine time, and with divine ease. So mote it be. Yeah, so mote it be. So there is something here that is coming to light. You're going to be able to see, and I feel it's through spiritual and divine. It can be intervention. It can be spiritual and divine connection. Right? Whatever this is here, it's part of what is shaking things up for you. So trust that even if you can't quite see, because maybe you are seeing just in that black energy at this time, trust that there's a lot coming in that's going to clear things up for you. And again, remember your first card out, no turning back. You don't want to go back to who you once were, right? I'd never want to go back to, being 16 years old or being 25 years old or, well, I better stop going. I'll give out my age here, but we don't want to go back to those periods, even though sometimes it may feel that things were easier at times, but we learn. And, all of these experiences that we've gone through, we've learned a great deal about ourselves, about others, about, the earth, about our purpose, our mission. So trust that you're already there, you're already doing it, and you're already whole. I love this. Look at that. Look at these zebras showing up. How unique are they? This is about uniqueness, as we just talked about this. So you are a divine spark that is part of, right, that wholeness, that togetherness, that collective divine. And you are unique in your own individuality. And that was the message. Remember in the very beginning, the world needs your unique gifts. So don't leave with them still in you. And this is the card literally of uniqueness. And it says, honor and celebrate your differences from the crowd right now, even if it's not appreciated in your present circumstances. Honor the individuality within you, whether it's laughing at yourself and celebrating your own offbeat way of handling the situation. It may be your best path. So be open to considering the more conservative requests that are being made of you at this time. Between the norm and your uniqueness, it may be your best trail. Much that is before you will require your unique steps and point of view. Counsel also shares, however, that some of your actions may need to be more in the middle of the trail. See how you can blend the two to work for your greater good on your journey ahead. So make sure that you are adding your unique touch, whether this is in a business, whether it's in your career. This could be within your relationships. We all add, a touch of our own self. That's part of it here. That's part of our human experience. And for some of you, you felt a little bit caught off guard is the word that I'm getting here. You felt caught off guard in a situation. And I do feel that you're being asked to kind of rise above that energy here. Like the reminder of, this Cow horse reminds us, it's very mystical, come back to the self. Understand that you are part of something greater here. Trust in the divine. Let's see what messages come through for you from the unicorn oracle. All right away we have a couple that landed. Teamwork. Work with others to make this situation come about. So if this has to do with work or career or even a relationship, communication is key at this time. Look at that kitten and that horse, right? Or that unicorn. They're connecting, they're collaborating. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you do for a living. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter, all of those physical things, all of those earthly, tangible things. Are we able to work together on a deeper level, committing ourselves to a higher purpose, committing ourselves to, what's in our highest good? And you have forgive that came out with this teamwork. So some of you, perhaps there is an energy of that you feel like someone is replacing I, right? As you've heard the saying, there is no I in teamwork, but it does feel individualized here. So some of you, there wasn't equal give and take. There may have been too much push and shove. There may have been a situation where teamwork was required, but someone wasn't pulling their weight. Someone wasn't doing their fair share here. It's time to let go of anger and blame, because we can sit in that energy when other people tell us one thing and they show us another. We tend to build bitterness. We build resentment. So forgiveness could be necessary here. And that could also be what has you bucking against this trend or bucking against this energy at this time. If someone has, hurt you, someone has talked the talk but not walked the walk, I feel like there's no turning back for you here. And that is a message that sometimes we can forgive and move on. And this could be to a new team, a new friend group, a new, family dynamic, a new relationship, a new energy altogether. And that's what I feel for some of you. Now, of course, you can forgive and you can come back to that place. But for some of you, for a lot of you, because you have no turning back, I feel it's important to forgive the situation at hand, but also to give gratitude. Because when we give gratitude, we release that pain, and we're able to forgive the situation and the person. It doesn't mean, again, that what they did is okay, but it means that we're able to give gratitude for the lessons that it taught us. And some of you, that's part of communication. And there could be, again, some sort of communication coming in. There could be an apology. Maybe you are the one giving an apology here, but I like to see this together, because regardless, there's no turning back now. And you have creative. It says draw, paint, think, and act in creative ways. That's beautiful, especially with your main card here of, this cow, this mysticism, as well as the black and white energy that I was picking up on. Some of you may be seeing things again in only black and white, or one way or the other. And maybe that's helpful for your logical, analytical mind at this time, which, if it's helping you, keep moving in that direction. But because you have this creative card, it's also about expansion. And look at these unicorns. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 7 of them together, thrashing through the waters here. And 7 is a very spiritual number, a very mystical number as well. So there could be a lot of activity around the 7th. Whatever month you are watching this in, it could be the 17th or even the 27th. 7 could be a significant number for you. Maybe it's a birth date as well, maybe a life path or a personal year number, but that's coming in. But this is about you being able to use your creative talents. That may be part of one of your unique gifts. Whatever you are creatively expressing could be in the form of a book. It could be in the form of, a YouTube channel. For others of you, maybe you are painters, authors, creators. Maybe you're interior designers or decorators. Maybe you are, a spiritual healer. We don't have to just be creative with a paintbrush. We are constantly creating things in our world. So you're being asked to take a look at what you are creating. Do you like what you see? Or is it time to Time to pull out a new canvas is what I heard. Time to pull out a new canvas. And let's get some final messages for you beautiful souls. What do we need to know here? Healer. Ooh, I love this one. You have the power to help and heal others. Some of you, this is animals. For others of you, it's humans. For a lot of you, it is the energy of the earth plane as well. Maybe you've been called to spend more time working on humanitarian efforts, healing and helping the environment, maybe recycling, using wellness-based products or, earth-based products here. For others of you, you may be Reiki practitioners, shamans, psychic or tarot readers, whatever this is that you do, whether professionally or personally, it doesn't matter. A lot of you are healers. You have the gift of healing. And so many times we understand and we may know this, but we forget that we can heal ourselves. So there's a message here as well for those of you that are big healers for everyone else, whether it's through giving great advice or whether it's through literally placing your hands above or on that person, or you could be a doctor, a nurse, a psychiatrist, whatever it may be here. Remember to use some of what you preach in a sense or what you do. Remember that you can also put that energy into yourself. And some of you need to hear that at this time. This was a lesson for me many, many, many years ago, over I think 10, 15 years ago when I became a Reiki master. So many times we're focused on, helping and healing other people that sometimes we forget that we need to also, heal and work with our own energies. And because it's so exciting, especially in the very beginning, you just want to work with everyone else and everything else. But now I feel like a lot of you are being called to work on that self-healing. All right, what else do we have? Some final messages here. I just heard the name Brandon, so maybe that's your name, someone that you work with, a child's name. I'm also getting someone's alarm clock. So there could be an alarm clock that just went off here. Maybe some of you need an alarm clock or to set your alarm. There could be a reminder coming in, or maybe there's a ding that you hear within the next hour or so. Let's take a look. Love heals fear. What a beautiful message here. Wow, look at this. There's a feline along with that horse, that unicorn, and it says, love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. Wow. Love heals fear. And that's kind of that energy of, the black and white, the light and the dark. There is polarities. We will always come against polarities. That's part of this earthly realm. But we can choose to embrace the energy of love. And that's what we are all being guided to do at this time, not succumb to the fear-based energies, which, what do I always say the acronym of fear is? Say it with me. False evidence appearing real. What's real? Love. What's going to get you through? Love. What's going to heal? Love. So I want you to say that out loud in your mind's eye. Say that 3 times. Love heals, love heals, love heals. Beautiful. Because some of you have come across the bully. Some of you have come across some angry people. Some of you have come across people who just didn't want to be a team player, right? They weren't putting in the effort. They may have been bullied. They may have some of their own fears, their own projections, because I am getting here someone projecting, and that may be why you have this bucking bronco up here. The energy needs to be cleared. Break out of all that negativity. Break out of the restraints here. Love heals. Oh, I just want to keep going. These messages are beautiful. Let's get one more from this deck. We'll pull a final horse whisper card, and then we'll call her a wrap. What else do we need to know here, please, for the collective? Practice. The best way to be good at a skill is to practice, practice, practice until you get it right. How beautiful is that? So whether this is you practicing your craft, some of you, you've had to practice in a sense in a relationship. I get that you've given someone chance after chance after chance, and maybe that was part of the practice, part of the lesson, right? We don't understand that at times. We get very frustrated when we're in that energy of, ambiguity, and we're in that energy of I should say ambivalence, kind of going back and forth here, not quite sure what way is up, what way is down. Do we want to stay? Do we want to leave? Do we move this career, go into the next one? But sometimes what we need to realize is through this practice, right, we're going to learn the valuable lessons that we need. So when that test or exam comes in, so to speak, you'll pass it. And not that, again, we're getting tested, but sometimes when we see it from that point of view, it makes things a little bit lighter, because then you don't put all of the blame and the shame and the fears, you don't put them on yourself. You are being asked to release that at this time. So practice. If you need to practice until you get something right, don't point those fingers at yourself or others, because you will get it right here. I mean, you do it so many times, eventually you're going to get really good at it here. So if this is a craft, you're being asked to study that craft at this time. Some of you, you're getting asked to practice a specific skill that maybe you lack. Maybe that's patience. Patience is one of the hardest teachers out there. Patience is, an energy that is very difficult at times to master. Control, same thing. All right. When we try to hang on or control a situation due to what? Fear, right? When we embrace that energy of love and trust, because love and trust can go hand in hand here, that can help release some of those fears that we have. For some of you, because you have the bullies card showing up here, I feel like you've had to practice, yes, patience, but there is a situation where you are being called and asked to not turn back, right? No going back, no turning back here. You've overcome a lot. You've learned a lesson. Your practice is over in a sense, in that cycle, in that test, in that exam, if you want to look at it from that point of view. And now it's time to get creative. Get creative with how you assess your life. Get creative about what makes you happy at this time. And if there's a situation that really brings unhappiness to your life, collective, it's time for you to heal yourself. Put all that energy that you give to others or into the planet. It doesn't mean that you're selfish, but take some of that energy, even if just a bit, and put that back into your healing and be creative moving forward. Let's see here. One final message. What do we need to know? One final message here. Okay. Whew. All right. What do we need to know? I feel like we could talk all day. These are beautiful cards. We do have uncertainty. Okay. This is an important message, because again, I am getting a little bit of that ambivalence of going back and forth, feeling uncertain. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I retire? Do I work another year? Do I leave this relationship? Do I move on? Do I forgive this person who hurt me? Do I, do I stay angry? There's just so much here that feels so black and white, and you're in the mix of that muddied energy trying to figure things out, as we all are. It's a very interesting dynamic that we're going through in the world at this time, and the unknown and yet to be revealed is always a mystery. You may recently have been trying to control the uncontrollable. You may have been seeking security, predictability, and all that feels certain and safe. But to live with everything revealed and certain creates a sacrifice that you must examine at this time. A life without adventure or passion, right? We don't want that. We don't want a life without adventure or passion. And your desire for all that is comfortable and safe is natural. Yet at this time, you're being asked to take a risk. Let go of your need to know all outcomes and become willing to trust. We just talked about this. Breathe, and with that breath, take in faith that on some level of uncertainty will enrich your life more fully than you can imagine. Only to the degree with which you can handle uncertainty can your life be fully charged. Okay, so yeah, you're not going to get more than you can handle here. Like it says, only to the degree with which you can handle uncertainty can your life be fully charged. So it may seem at times like you are on that path of I'm getting nine of wands, The path of least resistance. Thank you, Spirit. The path of least resistance. Like there's so much coming in here. You want to give up. Spirit is saying you're closer than you think. So I feel because things are stirred up here. Like I said, I can't stop looking at this bucking bronco. Things are already stirred up within you. A lot of you have already made a very significant decision. And now I feel like part of this decision is to move on. It's to take that action piece, right? No turning back. I just want to pull some last final tarot cards here and see what is coming in, what messages that we can work with this uncertainty. And it is trusting, right? Trusting the uncertain. And that's one of the biggest things we as humans, as souls having this human experience, of course, we don't like, because we like that certainty. We like to know how things are going to turn out. That's why we watch tarot. That's why we, want to plan and prepare. But you are being asked here to trust. And wow, look at this. There's the Temperance card, which is literally the card of patience. And we just talked about patience being one of our greatest teachers. But the Temperance is also about balance. It's about moderating, compromise, self-control, because sometimes we can feel really extreme in our emotions, our behaviors, and we must temper the energies to create harmony and balance. There is a new opportunity here in the physical realm. The Page of Pentacles showing up with this is you've waited a long time. Some of you have been in that energy here of, uncertainty for quite some time. And your message is you're coming really close to some important, action. Because even though the Page of Pentacles it can certainly be a message. It can be a new experience here, manifesting something new in the physical realm. It may be a new job. It may be finances. But I feel like it's you taking that first step. And if you actually look at her, she's standing there with one leg up. And so again, there's that level of balance. There can be that level of a little bit of uncertainty, because typically you feel more balance when both legs are on the ground, but she has one leg up, kind of like a flamingo there, and she's holding her coin. And when the Page of Pentacles shows up with the Temperance, this is something you've been holding on to for quite some time, and this is the time for you to release. Sometimes we have to practice things over and over and over until we finally understand and know that the cycle has come to an end. And there is something here that is coming to an end after a long time of, again, being in that resistance or, practice energy, practicing for the final event. But for a lot of you, I get that is coming to a close, and you're gonna see magic showing up in your life. You're gonna see really big things, because you're coming out of that place of fear into more love. You're coming out of that place of maybe a little bit of pessimism to optimism. You're understanding that the things that you've had to go through, whether it was a tower moment with the buck and bronco, maybe it was a wheel of fortune energy, so something quite beautiful is already manifesting in your life, but there's no turning back now. You are unique in your own way. You are, a beautiful divine spark. And if you are not appreciated for who you are, then you will absolutely find the energy, the group, the connections, the family, the soul tribe. You will find your people, the people that love you for you in all of your imperfections, and trust in your mystical side, trust in, the universe at this time, and do the work if it needs to be done, and embrace this uncertainty, right? Because again, the unknown and yet to be revealed is always a mystery. Things are never set in stone, right? Even tarot, even these readings, they're not set in stone. That's why I try to coach and bring advice. And yes, we certainly can take a look at both outcomes, which is what I do often, but ultimately the choice is yours. And if you still need to have that practice, right, you're going to get there. But for a lot of you, I would say 99% of you watching today, you've already done the practice. You've already done the work. It's time to move on and not look back. That's what I have for you, beautiful souls. I hope these messages resonated today, and hope it found you in a time where you needed it the most. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. And it certainly helps the growth of the channel, which I greatly, greatly appreciate. And I'm just sharing a few more of these images because, again, such a beautiful and creative deck. I'm just hearing here postcards or some sort of cards as well. So maybe some of you are artists and maybe you have some ideas of creating your own decks, your own cards yourself. If that is you, this is your prompt. This is your message. Thank you again so much for being here, collective. Lots of love.